Hey, I'm Giselle, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. It's not going to be a typical build video, no. Instead, I'm going to be reading some critics from Metacritic, of God of War Ragnarok, and we're going to try not to lose our sanity because I've seen some takes and I felt like I wanted to share them with you, my community, my trusted, beloved community. So, let's dive straight into it. So the very first one, okay, first of all, God of War Ragnarok is sitting at 94 Metascore and 7.9 user score. And if you don't know about the way it works, this is really cool. It's like top tier, it's like S tier, so thumbs up for God of War. So now let's talk about the very first review. We're going to talk about the bad ones only. Like, we don't need to know how good the game, we don't need to know about how good the game is. We already know it is, and we all have our opinion. So let's see what people have to say negatively about the game. So that person, Laughing Girl, played the game for 3 hours and got bored. So 20 hours per hour. $20. 20 hours per hour, that's a good one. Dialogue is banal, combat is repetitive, touchy-feely, not worky. It's a B-movie on rails with underwhelming combat in the middle. So I don't know. Here's the thing: if you bought a game that expensive, like games are getting like super expensive nowadays. If you get a game like that, I feel like the least you can do is try to see it through the end. Like, try to actually get to the bottom of it, just try and get some value out of it. Unless you're planning on selling the game or gifting it, like I'm like, you know what? There is no reason why you should stop if you invested that much money in the game. You should just go through with it. Maybe you actually end up liking it. I don't know. Maybe it's not a certainty, but what do you have to lose? You already paid for it. Anyway. Why? Wait, what? Right mouth. Nothing huge or new. Game does not look PS5 level. Well, you would know if you just paid attention for like more than 4 seconds that this game is released on both PS4 and PS5, which means that this was initially a PS4 game which had been upscaled or improved to be released on PS5. But from the very start, this is a PS4 game, so of course it's not going to take advantage of all those fancy things the PS5 has to offer. Of course, like I feel like people should just pay attention, right? It takes like 2 seconds to just see that, just 2 seconds. Anyway, dragging story and annoying dialogue. Okay, and once you get into it, feels like you already played this with a new skin. Okay, I've seen this comment, that criticism a lot, and it has to be the dumbest take I've heard about this game, and a lot of games too. Let me explain. So here's the thing: God of War 2018 was like a soft reboot, and God of War Ragnarok is a sequel to God of War 2018. So when you complain about a sequel following the same steps as the game is supposed to be a sequel for, this is such a dumb take, because you're complaining about two things being similar when that's the whole point. Imagine, for example, playing Need for Speed Underground, right? And you love it, right? You're having a great time, and then you play Need for Speed Underground 2 and you complain about the game having cars. Like, what did you expect? It's a sequel. Like, what did you expect? It's like playing, it's like, and you know what bothers me is the fact that if you played the first 3 God of War games, like God of War 1, 2, and 3, those games have similar mechanics. Even the fighting system is quite the same. The only difference will be the levels, the main story, the weapons you will get along the way, and how it's all going to be tied together. But the games were identical in the way they felt and played, but we didn't see people complain about it because they knew it was a sequel. And then people got upset. Some people got upset about God of War 2018 because I myself, I also had some things to say about the reboot because I didn't agree with all the choices, but I understood that it was a reboot and God of War Ragnarok was a sequel to that reboot. Like, what did you expect? Like something transformative? Like, that's not the case. It's not going to be the case. Like, stop complaining about a sequel looking identical. Not identical, like you have some changes here and there, so the game isn't like a one-to-one. Like, that's not how it is. You're not being truthful here. Like, come on. Like, you can't complain about a sequel looking like a sequel. That's a dumb take, and I don't know, that's such... Oh, look, another 0. So that person is saying that God of War is boring and also is almost the same game than 2018. Again, the same argument. Like, you know what this reminds me of? People who complain about a remake of the game looking too much like the game they were trying to remake in the first place. I'm like, huh? So are you complaining about the game being too similar? Like, those are the same people who would complain if the game, if the remake was too different. Like, it's like you can never win. So anyway, Atreus is still an awful character. There's one thing we can all agree on. Atreus is annoying, but I think that's on purpose. They actually want to they actually tried to make the most annoying character. Like, he's less annoying than in 2018 thanks to his new voice now, because his previous voice with his whatever, it was very frustrating to listen to him, but now I can listen to him even if I still just want to punch him in the face. So that is by design. He's annoying by design. So if anything, they did an amazing job creating probably the most annoying character in gaming. Probably. So it is definitely not a next-gen game. Like, again, this is not supposed to be a next-gen game, and if you thought it was, then you got your info wrong. Like, you need to check your sources, because this was never advertised as being a next-gen game. Never. So you can realize that it is a game. Anyway, on to the next one. This one is such a dumb take. I just can't. Anyway, an incredibly meh game that is overpraised by the Sony diehards. Okay, you know what? I'm going to use that opportunity to address something I've seen a lot in the gaming community, and probably in some other areas too. It feels like nowadays you can't like or dislike something without being attacked. It's like impossible. The moment you decide to have an opinion about something, you're either going to be attacked by people who think you're a sellout or a fanboy, or people who think you're just a hater. Like, because you can't like, how else would they justify the fact that you love something they hate, or you hate something they love? I mean, not hate, that's the thing though. You don't hate it, you just dislike it. Just like the way you dislike a color or like a number or like a movie. Like, it didn't resonate with you, it didn't leave an impact, so you didn't feel like, going through with it. But those people, like, you have two groups of people who get offended. They actually get offended and they will attack you for liking something they don't like, or disliking something they like. And both groups are equally stupid, because they think they're the center of the world. They feel like their opinion matter, and they're going to go out of their way to actually attack you to prove the point. Point being that just because you dislike something, I mean, you don't share the same opinion they have. There has to be a problem with the way you're wired. Like, your parents abandoned you the moment you were born for some reason, and like nobody likes you. Like, you alone in your basement, and all you do is just stare at the wall waiting for something to hate on. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. And to those people, all I have to say is fuck you. And then that same person actually has a very good point. The hand-holding in this game is actually abysmal. It is horrendous, and given how they actually went above and beyond for all those accessibility features, I feel like they could have done something when it comes to the pack seating, and how in this game it doesn't feel like you can do anything by yourself. You're going to be called out the moment you take damage, the moment you spend more than 5 seconds on the puzzle, and it is infuriating. Like, it feels like the game doesn't respect you. Like, the game actually feels like we are dumbasses. And you know what, reading some critics, I feel like some people really are dumbasses, but not everybody. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, Santa Monica. We don't need to be told we are afflicted by Bifrost. I can read. I can see on my screen. So yeah, the game definitely It is way too much hand holding, and I actually wish there was a way to tone it down, but it is unfortunate. So yeah. Ooh, that person seems actually angry or sad. I regret buying this game for full price. It is not a game, it is an interactive movie. Boring levels, can't go anywhere, invisible walls everywhere. Combat is exactly the same as the previous title. I imagine I actually spit the moment they were done because I can feel the bitterness. So bitter. Anyway, you should never pre-order a game or pay full price unless you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Don't regret, right? For example, I played the demo for Forspoken and I knew that game. I knew right off the bat that game wasn't for me. It was not fun. I was not having fun playing this game even though I was excited about getting it. But I ended up just skipping it. You know why? You want to know why? Because I realized I was not going to have fun and I was going to waste my money. And for me, playing games is first of all about fun. If I can't have fun, then I'm wasting my money. That's the thing. And again, don't pre-order or don't pay full price if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. If you're expecting a sequel to not be a sequel, don't get the sequel, because then you will get the sequel and complain about the sequel being a sequel. You know what? Just don't. Like, whatever you want to do in life, don't. Just don't. That person actually mentioned that the levels were boring. I don't know. You have like what? 9 ramps. I mean, if you forget about Niflheim, which is just like a training ground, and Asgard, which is just for exploration and blah blah blah, you don't do much in Asgard. Boring levels? What about Valheim with all those side quests? And I feel like Valheim alone could have been a DLC, just because of how big it is. It is big, and then it gets bigger with the jungle part, and I'm like, dude, what do you mean boring? And each RAM is different. They are actually very different the way they are designed. Invisible walls. Invisible walls. Where were you going when you saw those walls? I feel like this game is quite linear, and God of War has always been a very linear game. It didn't start today and it's not going to end today. So again, whenever you want to get into something, you should do your research, like, yeah, invisible walls. Where were you going when you saw those walls? Like, come on, man. Combat is exactly the same as before. Yeah, it is a sequel. I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's what it means. It means that it's going to be quite the same, at the same time different. Blimey. Okay, I'm sorry. But come on, man, those people. To each his own, but in my opinion, this GOTY nominee is very disappointing. Atreus can't shut up, the player is handholded through the entire game, the dialogues are pure cringe. What? And there is zero innovation over God of War 2018. Oh wow, it could have been a like DLC for 70 bucks? Are you for real? You know, those same people would have complained. Let's say, for example, that God of War Ragnarok actually released as a DLC. Those people will go, wait, this game is too long. It should have been its own game. It's like, you can never win. A DLC that big? Like, I think you can fit actually 3 games in the it took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to beat the game, actually. I was trying to get like everything in the game, and it took me 2 weeks. And you want that as DLC? Get the had potential to be a great game, but with Santa Monica hiring female and LGBTQ developer, what does it have to do with anything? Anyway, they've turned our favorite badass into a soft daddy who doesn't like to kill. He is now weak and feminine. Feminine? Okay, weak? I can see where you're going with weak, but feminine? What? Like, what? No way. Basically, same thing that happened. Kratos is feminine. What? The guy starts off by turning down Odin and Thor by saying no, and then he ends. He almost, kill his own son when Atreus was the bear, and then he's like leading Ragnarok, and like, the whole time he's trying to protect his son. Like, what feminine? What? You know what? There's a reason why those people don't review games, and thank God they don't, because oh my, feminine. Anyway, that's it for guys. That's it for. I feel like every single time, like I kept reading the some as I'm reading them, I feel like I'm losing some brain cells. Feminine. So I better stop now before I just can't I just can't function as a human being. Jesus Christ. What does hiring women has to do with well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below if you actually want to see more of those things. I just felt like I just wanted to share some things with you guys, and let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon. Feminine. Jesus Christ.